Well, Rooted in SC highlights everything and everyone that is rooted right here in the Palmetto State. And tonight I'm featuring former commissioner at Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Corridor, lecturer and author and native Charlestonian, Sherman Pyatt. Hana Fadu?
Hana Fadu.
Good.
Hana.
Okay. Good. Good. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome here. See,
Thank you.
I know a little bit of the Gullah too. I can read it.
I know you can.
I can. There we go.
Okay.
Well, thank you for being here. Your book, congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
called
you.
Standing in the Gap.
Yes.
And how is that rooted in SC? Tell us briefly a little bit about the story.
Okay. The book, which I did, my first novel, by the way, takes place around 1915, 1917. What I wanted to do really with this book was to show the richness and the uniqueness of the Gullah culture, a part of it that has since, I think, been forgotten, but now there's a new renaissance, if you will, of the culture. Mm-hmm. And so as a former commissioner, one of our charges was to make sure that we document and to promote the culture. Mm-hmm. And so I don't think ever before all of the works that I've done were nonfiction, covering some of those items. But again, I wanted to focus on that culture, mainly from the aspect when we look at Wadmalaw Island, where my grandmother originated, but it can cover any of the Sea Islands because there was isolation at that time. No bridge access, so the people who were on those islands retained a great deal of that culture, which kind of originated from West Africa. Mm-hmm. And so it was my ability, I guess, and from having some of those past experiences from living on, actually visiting the Sea Islands and having cousins, to be able to put that in words so that people can get a sense of an understanding of how it was during those periods of time.
Absolutely. You share a little something in common with the lead character of the book, Jacob, young Jacob.
That's correct.
And that's definitely rooted in the Gullah culture.
Absolutely.
And that would be?
Right. When we think of Jacob, the first thing that steps out is that Jacob was born with the veil. Mm-hmm. And for many who live in this low country understand what the veil means. Mm-hmm. One who has the ability to interpret dreams. Mm-hmm. Now, we also heard of the birthmark, but ones have birthmark. But now I wanted to have Jacob to have the veil and a unique birthmark, which would give him even additional aspects, if you will, from a spiritual content, interpreting dreams, speaking to those who have gone beyond, and having just that insight to look beyond. And so the uniqueness of Jacob and any of our families, the elders would pay close attention when that person dreams because they have a feeling that it will come to fruition. Yeah. So that sets him apart beyond that line. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And this book took you 6 years to write.
6 years from the time I signed the contract to do it, having some issues in between, waiting, had some health issues, but eventually coming to the point that it, finally came to be. Yeah. Now, in between that, I was always, working towards and had published other things, had spoken to other groups about these things. But what happens then if I mention to you the hag? Which that comes, so now I want that term to live, to breathe, to have arms, to have legs. And so when you're reading about instead of just a concept, and that concept becomes a person, it becomes totally different. And I think it gets to the mind and the psyche of those who are reading it, even from those who are not aware of the culture. Yeah. But it also comes back to someone like you and me, for example, to remember those things as to once what it was.
Oh yeah, I don't like when the hag pays a visit.
You're
not
right.
like
That's
that.
right.
That's not a good feeling. Not when that happens. And the dialogue in the book is written in the Gullah language.
Correct.
Which is beautiful, by the way. And it's great because I hear, as I was reading the book, I can hear it myself, and it plays out like a movie in my head. Right. But you provided something at the very back of the book. We have a few seconds left. Right. At the very back of the book that will help readers who are not familiar with the Gullah language.
Correct. It has a glossary that was done by Lorenzo Dow Turner, the person who actually identified Gullah as a language. And so that is there to help the reader along the way as they're reading it.
All right, I love it, I love it. The book is called Standing in the Gap. And Sherman, where can we get it?
You can get it from Amazon, books, I think Barnes & Noble, and pretty much anywhere in the Charleston area, wherever they sell books.
All right, well, congratulations to you once again, and I can't wait to finish reading it. It's a very good read, a very quick read, so congratulations to you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course.